Hi there, Laura here from Get Organized HQ, and I want to tell you about a system that I use to plan my days that has truly changed my life. But not only that, I have heard from tons of you all as well saying that it has changed your lives as well. It's my signature 3-bucket system for planning your days. So come along as I load up some new product on my shelf. I'm gonna go ahead and chat with you about the system, explain what it is so it can change your life as well. Now, first, I need to tell you a little story about how this planning system was born. So a few years ago, I had probably a 2-year-old and basically a newborn. So, life was pretty busy. I was also growing a business. And one day we went out to do some grocery shopping and we come home and taped to the front of our door, we still see this really bright pink piece of paper. And we're like, oh, that's interesting. Like, what is that? So we go up to the door and we grab the piece of paper and we see that it is actually a late notice for our water bill. I think we were about 10 days late paying our water bill, and they tape these bright pink notices to your door. Now, what you have to understand is where we lived at the time, this was not just any old town. We affectionately dubbed this town Mayberry, and I'm telling you, this wasn't a misnomer. It was such a small town. Everybody knew everybody, kind of knew some of people's businesses, and we literally, I kid you not, lived on Main Street. That means the very main drag. And I am sure that in the time that this notice was on our door, multiple people we knew probably drove by and saw that we had this bright notice saying that our water bill was late. And it was very embarrassing because, I'm a little surprised we didn't get phone calls from people saying, are you okay? Are you having financial troubles? Things like that. And here's the deal. It wasn't because we didn't have the money to pay the water bill, and the water bill is, one of the cheaper bills, but it was because I didn't have any kind of system for planning my days. And of course I planned to pay my bills. Who doesn't? But I never got around to it. And so let me kind of describe how I would plan my days before this system. This is very common, so I think a lot of you may do it this way as well. So, I tried to take good advice. I knew you needed to plan. So when it came time for me to plan my day, I would sit down and, I would get out a planner or a piece of paper and I would write down everything that I wanted to accomplish that day. The problem is when I wrote what I wanted to do for the day, even when I thought that I was writing a fairly realistic to-do list, what I was actually doing was writing a list of what I hoped to get done if everything went according to plan. There were no unexpected interruptions. I was operating at max energy all the time, which, by the way, who operates at max energy when they have a toddler and an infant? That rarely happens. And I had no control over what I was getting done. I would just write a list of these are all the things I'd love to get done, but almost never did I actually get all of those things done. And so that meant several things. First of all, that meant that I just had no control over what was getting done. I'm sure that paying my bills had been on my list for quite a long time, and I just kept putting it off, and that was a thing I didn't get to until one of them was actually late, and it was embarrassing. Oh, by the way, this is my favorite. I keep this in my purse all the time. Definitely pick up one of these. So in essence, my to-do list was more like a wish list. And that feeling of just lack of control and not being able to decide what you get done from day to day is very unnerving. It's very unpleasant. I would go to bed with a lot of guilt because I'd feel like, oh man, I just couldn't get it all done. And it wasn't working. So that is when I developed the 3-bucket system that changed everything. So here's how the 3-bucket system works. It's about as simple as it sounds, which is another reason why I think it's so effective. I think often when it comes to planning, we really try to overcomplicate things and we're not doing ourselves any favors. So bucket 1 is called your top priority bucket. Those are the top 3 to 5 things that you want to accomplish that day. Now, keeping it at 3 to 5 can be really hard because you're thinking, well, I have a lot of things to do. I just don't have 3 to 5 things to get done. But this is the key. Any more than that, and you're just not going to be able to get it done. And again, the game changer of this system is that you really can get bucket 1 done every day. You're giving yourself back control because no matter what, those are the things you're going to get done. And in my example, if I had been using this system, I would have probably not had paying the bills in that bucket 1 when it wasn't all that urgent, when I just paid them a few days before. But by the time we got to where they were really urgent, I would have moved them into bucket 1 and I would have gotten them done, and I would have been very intentional about what I did and did not get done. And so that's the magic of bucket 1. In addition to that, a lot of people wonder about what to put in there. And optionally, we like to give it a little bit of structure, which we call HOP to it. So the acronym HOP stands for habit, objective, and passion. So that means that the H for habit, you should be working on one habit that you're trying to really make a part of your life on automatic. And this one's easy. It's already decided for you. You work on it until it actually becomes an automatic habit. Next, the O stands for objective, and those are the really important to-dos. The top 1 to 3, these vary a lot day to day, just depending on what's needed. So again, if you're doing the HOP to it, there's no more than 3 in here. I know that's hard, but that's critical because if you start piling on too many things, then you're gonna lose that feeling of I'm in control, I can get these done. It doesn't mean you can't do anything else after you get this bucket done, but you really have to prioritize. And one of the questions that I personally like to ask myself is, if I got to the end of the day and I had only done these things, what would I want them to be? And that really helps me to think what is actually the biggest priority. Sometimes it's work things, sometimes it's personal things, sometimes it's home things. Like, for example, laundry rarely shows up on there unless it's been like a couple weeks and somebody's not going to have clean clothes to wear the next day for school. Then it's going to make it on the list. And then the P stands for passion, and that is to make sure that you are putting in something for yourself every day to take care of yourself and keep yourself going, because so often we forget this. It's just so easy to forget to make the time for ourselves, and it doesn't have to be long. It can be if you want it to be. Things that I put in here are often going for a walk, spending some quality time with my family. Sometimes I put watching a movie if I'm like, you know what, I really need to chill and just watch a movie. So those are the types of things that I put in there, and that is bucket 1. Now, when we get to bucket 2 in the system, this is actually the easiest bucket and the one that you probably already do. And for this bucket, you're just going to put all of your scheduled appointments. And again, these are things that you probably already keep track of. You probably already show up at your scheduled appointments. So this bucket is pretty easy. That's all there is to it. It's that simple. Then we move on to bucket 3. Bucket 3 is what I call your wish list. That is where you put everything that you'd like to get done once you've gotten bucket 1 and 2 done. Then you can move on to bucket 3 and get those extra things done that you'd like to get done. Now, what ends up happening for me is that there are definitely plenty of days where I only get bucket 1 done and 2. I do not get anything in 3 done, and I still call that day a success. This is so important because I don't want you to just get more done. I don't want you, like myself, going to bed with that guilt of feeling like I didn't get enough done. I should have gotten more done. So the key is it's a success if you just got 1 and 2 done, and even if you got nothing on bucket 3 done. And you're not going to be left with huge amounts of things you were supposed to get done that are going to have disastrous consequences. Now, some days I'm on fire, everything's just kind of going well according to plan, and I'm able to get all of bucket 3 done, which feels amazing. And most days it's somewhere in the middle. Most days are more ordinary. Things go okay, but there's some interruptions, and I end up getting part of bucket 3 done. That's how it's normally going to be, and that's exactly how it's supposed to be. Now, in order to implement this system, I have created a tool called the Get Organized HQ Planner, and it's either available now or will be really soon. You can click the link down below to either go to it or get on the wait list. This is the tool that's specifically designed around the 3-bucket system. I don't think there is any other planner like this on the market. So I love this tool. So many people do. It's also available not just in physical form, but a printable form for those who want to print it yourself, or a tablet planner for those of you who are more into digital planning. That's me. That's the one that I love. But here's what's really important. I want you to hear this, because so often we think, well, I can't get started until it's like a Monday, maybe the beginning of the year. I have all my favorite pens and I have the perfect tool. You can do this with a notebook from the Dollar Tree. So do not let the fact that you do not yet have the tool, if it fits in your budget and you want it, great, get it and you can start using it. But if for some reason it doesn't, or you can't get it, don't let that be the reason you don't do this. You can start literally right this second. So if it's after the evening, like after dinner, I'd recommend just going ahead and writing your list for tomorrow. And if it's early in the day, start it today. You don't have to wait. You can do this with any tools you already have. So it always helps me to see an actual example of these things in action. So I have my planner right here. I'm getting ready to plan for next Monday, and I'm just gonna walk you through exactly how it works in real life. And so here you see this little bucket icon. So this is bucket 1, and we already have the H, O, and P for the hop to it outlined for you. So H is super easy because right now, the habit that I have been working on, and I think I'm almost ready to move on because it is becoming very automatic. I think I'm on day 50, is food tracking. I'm trying to track what I eat just for more awareness and things like that. And that is just what I'm working on as a habit. So that's what I'm writing for the habit. Now, for the objective, I need to think about, okay, and normally I would be doing this either the night before when I go to bed or the morning of. So I'm doing it a little bit earlier than typical just so that I can show you. But I need to think about what needs to happen tomorrow. And I already know that day after tomorrow, we are filming another video. So I have to get ready for it. Like, that is on the calendar and it requires prep. So I'm going to say filming prep is like definitely like, this is an objective that has to happen. It's not an appointment. Like, nobody's like, coming to do it, but I know I need to get it done. Then I think about what else is it that I need to get done. And I just like, is there something that I know there will be bad consequences if I don't get this done? Fortunately, I can't think of anything. My bills are caught up, taxes are paid. I'm not really behind on laundry or anything like that. So I get to do the things that are just more important to me. And one of the things that I've been trying to get done for the past few days is just to prep a little bit of meals. We're running out of food. I don't have a good plan. So I get to put some meal prep on there. And I'll be able to do that. Now, this would be enough, like I said, 1 to 3, and it depends a little bit on how long the things are going to take. If it's like a big project, you might only put 1. If they're smaller, you might put 3. So I do kind of take the day into account. So let's see, is there anything else that I really want to get done? And because I have 2 things on here, I would want to keep that thing a little bit smaller. And I think for me, I want to make sure that I get a weight workout at the Y done tomorrow. All right, so I got habit and objective, and then P, that's the fun one. That is passion. What is it that I want to take time to do for myself? And I think for this one, on this day, I have been really wanting to take a bath. I got a new bath bomb. And just take a few minutes to do that. I haven't really gotten around to it, so I think that would be just very calming and relaxing to do right before bed. So I put that on my passion. And what I love about this is that, like, those are the kind of things that we don't really think of as accomplishments. Like, we're so focused on getting things done, but this kind of turns it into something that I can feel really good about accomplishing it. And I don't feel like I'm wasting time, like it's a temptation on some of those self-care type things. All right, so we got bucket 1 done. Then bucket 2 is appointments. These are really easy. I know that at 3 p.m. I need to pick my kids up. So that is on the schedule. And then I know that at 4, we have a doctor's appointment for one of my kids. So I know I'll need to go to that. And then at 5:30, I need to take my son to gymnastics. So I'm going to put that on there. If I had any work meetings, I don't think I do on this day, I would put those on there, just whatever appointments there are. Sometimes there's a lot, some days there's nothing. There's no right or wrong here. Another thing you can do, I would call this like a little bit more advanced, is sometimes I'll plan out when I want to do these 3 things and I'll write them in appointments as well. That's totally optional. And then we get to wish list, and this is, in this planner, we have 1 wish list for the week. If you are using our tablet planner, you'll have 1 for every day. So it just kind of depends on how you like to plan. And so I'm going to think of what else is it that I'd really love to get done. And I would really love to prep next week's video. So not the one that is already on my objectives, but if I could start getting a little bit ahead on prep, I would love to do that. That's something I would love to do. I would also love to finish organizing the kids' bathroom. I'm like probably 80% done. And it wouldn't take too long to finish up. But again, that's not a top priority. Like nothing bad is going to happen. It could make it into my objectives at the point where it has bugged me so much and there's nothing else like of disastrous consequences that will happen. It may make it into there one of these days, but for now it goes on the wish list. So it is literally as simple as that. And then tomorrow evening or Tuesday morning, I'll do the same thing right here. That's how quick and easy it is. So I just want you to see that this is very doable, and I can't wait to see you all consistently getting bucket 1 done and feeling amazing. If you want to try this system for yourself, be sure to click the link below this video to check out our planner. And I'm really curious, let me know in the comments below whether you prefer a physical planner, a print it yourself planner, or a tablet planner.